Hello and welcome to this restorative yoga for winter solstice. It is so great to connect with you today. Today is my last filming before I take 2 weeks off for a break before we head to California to film some wonderful, exciting classes for you, for our members. I'm looking forward to that very much, the break and the time in California. So I'm also looking forward to connecting with you today before taking some time off. So have I mentioned taking time off? So I'd love to know who's joining us with us today, and I'd also like to know what your plans are for this time of year. So winter solstice is a beautiful time of year. It's that time where it's the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year. For us, we're just noticing that it's not even light outside yet here. It's 9 o'clock and the sun doesn't come all the way up in the sky. Even at midday here, and then by 2 o'clock the sun is starting to go down again, and the days are just so short, and it's encouraging a lot of inward focus, a lot of rest, a lot of time to conserve energy and to just be in that waiting and holding pattern. So it can be challenging when this time of year, if you have a lot of social engagements, which is normal at this holiday season, to rest into that. So here in this class, we're going to be turning inward, resting, going with that energy that is so apparent outside, of turning inwards towards the darkness, listening to our inner wisdom, and just resting into it. So that's our plan for today. Let me know in the comments where you're connecting from, and say hello. And yeah, that's it. So who's joining us today, Tim? Tim's got your comments today. Today and every day.
Elka and Simone.
Hello, Elka. Hello, Simone. Thank you for joining us.
Judy.
We have Judy. Hello, Judy. Thank you for being with us. Which camera am I on, by the way?
You're always on the main one.
This one. Okay.
And it's Simone, Elka, Judy, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Elka, I said Becky.
Hi, Becky. Thank you so much for being with us. For Becky's part of our membership, and this class is going to be somewhat of a taster, very similar to in our community, we run 5 element theory courses, and in January we're going to be doing water element course. Water element is water phase, which is all about this winter season of turning inward, this inner rest, this quiet time of waiting and conserving energy and inner listening and inner wisdom before the spring growth. And it's a real challenge in our culture to be with this energy, because our culture is constantly encouraging this growth and expansion. So to be in a season of holding, hibernation, waiting, conservation, it goes against the grain of growth and expansion. And yet it's so needed internally, this energy of conservation, and obviously externally in our planet at this time. And so it's no wonder that burnout is so prevalent. And even just speaking with one of my friends, dear members, and she's one of the leaders in our community yesterday. She lives in Australia, so she's celebrating summer solstice right now. They're experiencing, bushfires and smoke and all of that in Australia right now. And, we really need some balance right now in our lives. And following the rhythm of the seasons and the five elements gives us a chance to take this time of pause and conserve energy. So conservation is very important, and hibernation and waiting and patience. And they just do go so against the grain of our culture. So so this will give you a taste of what we do in our community, and those our advanced students. It's Yin yoga, and we do a Qigong yoga fusion, which is really beautiful. Some meditation, poetry, time in nature, some Dharma talks, and then there's a big component that is about being in community as well. So. Maybe Becky can say a little bit about that in the comments about her experience with that as well, to let you know about that, because we've done quite a few already. We do the elements already. We've done wood element, we've done fire element, we've done metal element, and now we are doing water elements. We've almost done all the elements now. We're completing the cycle of the year.
Welcome to Mel in Turkey.
Hello, Mel in Turkey.
And Sandra.
Hi, Sandra. Welcome.
And Becky's looking forward to getting her application in this weekend.
Oh, see, I just assumed Becky already had her application in. Yeah, there's an application process too that you go through, where there's a discernment process if, this is the right time for you, if this is something that you want to connect with and make time for in your life right now, and just to see really if it's going to be a good fit for you in your life right now. And yeah, so you enter into that dialogue with yourself inwardly, with me as your teacher, and also just to see how that fits for you in our community as well. Mm-hmm.
And I said, Judy says it's easy going inward because she lives in Eastern Ontario, Gananoque.
Yeah, Judy's saying it's easy to go inward. It is actually, when we surrender to this energy, easy, because then we're aligning with the energy of the season, right? It's more difficult when we're trying to overcome the energy that already exists. So when we can align with it and stop fighting it and trying to do other things, then it does help. So Judy, you sounds like you live in a beautiful place. I think we've been there, haven't we, Tim?
To Gananoque?
Yeah.
Yeah, many times.
Yeah. Beautiful place.
Yeah, right up Thousand Islands.
Oh yeah, very beautiful place. So
Christina O'Regan's here.
hello,
Sorry,
hello Tina.
Christina?
She goes by Tina.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
Okay. Hi Tina, welcome. So it's good to see all of you joining today.
Becky says that last night's water meter was stunning.
Oh yeah, and in our community yesterday we celebrated winter solstice there. We did a water element yoga nidra together, and that was a beautiful way to celebrate the solstice together. And it was interesting because afterwards we usually open it up for discussion, and everybody was so relaxed that they just were kind of like dazed. They had nothing to say. So there wasn't really not much discussion, but Becky, did you sleep well? I'm curious if she slept well after that.
She says the support from the community and the Earth Element course is outstanding. Really makes a safe place to share experiences.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for writing about your experience with the 5 elements in the comments, Becky. I appreciate that. So a project that's really near and dear to my heart, the 5 element courses, and bringing and 5 element theory and bringing that into yoga and as a way to get to know ourselves more deeply. So it's a way that we can really dive deep into our interconnectedness with each other and the natural world. And I think that that's going to become increasingly, I know for those of you that like to practice with me, that's something that is already important to you. So, yeah. So we got a couple of minutes before we get started. We'll let the last people arrive.
Well, I guess because don't really start till 9.
Yeah, we'll start right at 9. So for those of you that are getting your things ready, we're going to be, it's a restorative class, so you're going to need all your props, and we're going to be doing some legs at the wall. So you'll want to have a space with a wall. If you don't have that, you can always use a couch or a chair. You could do a modified legs at the wall too.
Becky said she slept like a baby for 9 hours.
Oh wow, Becky slept for 9 hours. That's fantastic.
Sleeping like a baby, that means she woke up every hour, right?
No, people say they sleep like a baby when they sleep well.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been having some pretty hard sleeps lately too. Like it's normally I'm a very good morning person, but because it's so dark in the mornings right now, I'm not really waking up in the mornings.
New York City is in the house.
Hello from New York. Who's joining us from New York?
We got Marcia.
Hello, Marcia from New York.
Donna Parks.
And Donna Parks from New York. Is it snowing there? Who's got snow right now? That's what I want to know. It's been raining here like nonstop for over 24 hours. I can't, like, yeah.
Which means the rest of British Columbia is...
Which means everywhere else is getting snow right now. And I said to Tim, oh, we're stuck in our little puddle here, which is, we're lucky. It's warm here. But so then I was thinking, oh, everybody else is going to be having a white Christmas. So let me know if you guys are getting snow. Would be nice. It brightens things up and makes everything very festive at this time of year. It's exciting. And yesterday the rain was relentless. Like it was coming down so hard, and it was just coming horizontal. And Tim and I, we love to get out and go for walks during the day, and especially first thing in the morning. But I got to admit to you lately, with how dark it's been first thing in the morning, we haven't been going. And also with the rain yesterday just being horizontal all day, I'm not even kidding you. We definitely didn't get out yesterday.
So no snow in Denmark.
No snow in Denmark?
But Deborah Denhart moved further north in France. Light is much more generous here. But exhaustion insists that we go inside. Weather is mild enough to sleep in my van.
Nice.
And,
So Deborah's doing some van life stuff right now?
sounds like it.
Oh, Deborah, you got to share your tips, because Tim and I are converting a minivan for lots of camping this summer. So let us know any of your experiences, your tried and true experiences, what you would recommend, because we are very excited to start camping, especially for the cooler months, because we've got some months like March, November where we can definitely go, but 10 degrees during the day, and then it drops down quite cool during the night. But I think we can still go. So if you have some recommendations, sounds like you're getting out. Yeah, down to 3 degrees Celsius. So Deborah, let us know your tips for staying warm in the van for those cool nights.
It's sunny and shiny in New York State.
Sunshiny in New York State, so no snow, huh?
And Tony says that Kansas City, Missouri, snow on the ground.
Kansas City has snow on the ground. Nice.
Missouri.
In Missouri. Mm-hmm.
And Younger You says snow in Cape Breton is rough Atlantic weather.
Yeah, I bet Cape Breton has snow.
Well, going to here and to record, and when you're ready, you can.
Okay, so let's get started.
And I'm just going to kick this off here. I'm Tatiana from Belgrade.
Hi, Tanya.
And Stephanie says use a hot water ball to stay warm in the van.
Oh, hot water balls. That's a good idea. Old school. I like you guys.
Yeah, old school, that works. I can do that. Alrighty.
Okay, just let me clear my throat.
From Hong Kong.
Hello, Savang from Hong Kong. Welcome.
And Viviana.
Hi, Viviana.
And I think we can get ready to go live.
Okay.
Oh, and Marianne from Italy.
Hello, Marianne from Italy. Wow, we've got the Northern Hemisphere represented.
Alessandro says ciao from Italia.
Hello, Alessandra from Italy. Wow.
And, yeah, lots of people here.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad we're connecting today.
So explain what you're going to do and then we'll kick off.
Okay, we're gonna get started now. So Tim's gonna count me in, and then I'll give all the instructions like a normal class. So what we're doing is we're starting the quote good recording now, the good copy
For the website.
for the website and all that. Yeah.
Ask if anybody saw the new website.
Oh yes, and we'll have to make sure that you all go over and check melissawest.com because Tim has been working super hard on a shiny, spanky new website for us all, and we hope you really love it. There's lots of little details to kind of iron out, but the overall look and feel is just very modernized, and I'm really proud of him for all the work he's done on it.
Thank you. Say hello to Eva, Sieb, and then I'll count you in.
Hello, Eva, and hi, Siba. Welcome.
Action in 3, 2.
Hello and welcome to this restorative yoga for winter solstice. Winter solstice, as anybody who probably has clicked on this video knows, is the shortest day of the year, the longest night of the year, and it tends to be a time of year when our energy is turning inwards, preparing for hibernation like a bear, conserving energy. And so this class, we're going to just completely focus on restoring our energy. So what we're going to do is start with legs up the wall. So I would encourage you to choose a legs up the wall position that works for you. You can come to legs up the wall, or you can have, if that doesn't work for you, then you can always have legs up a chair or legs on the couch. So choose what works best for you. If you like an eye pillow over your eyes, that can be nice. You can do that, or you can have your eyes open. And if it's cooler where you are, it's nice to pull a blanket up over top of you as well. We are going to be doing really long holds today in this restorative class to help to support the rejuvenation and restoration. So know that you're going to be in this pose for 10 minutes. And if at any point your feet fall asleep or you need a break from the pose, remember that you can take time out. You can always bend your knees and come back into the pose. So I have a quote. I have a quote from Jeff Foster called Sacred Exhaustion. Your tiredness has dignity to it. Do not rush to pathologize it or push it away, for it may contain great intelligence and even medicine. You have been on a great journey from the stars, friend. Bow before your tiredness now. Do not fight it any longer. There is no shame in admitting you cannot go on. Even the courageous need rest. For a great journey lies ahead, and you will need all your resources. Come sit by the fire of presence. Let your body unwind. Drop into the silence here. Forget about tomorrow. Let go of the journey to come. And sink into this evening's warmth. Every great adventure is fueled by rest. Your tiredness is noble, friend, and contains healing power if you would only listen. Your tiredness has dignity to it. Do not rush to pathologize it or push it away, for it may contain great intelligence, even medicine. You have been on a great journey from the stars, friend. Bow before your tiredness now. Do not fight it any longer. There is no shame in admitting that you cannot go on. Even the courageous need rest. For a great journey lies ahead, and you will need all your resources. Come sit by the fire of presence. Let the body unwind. Drop into the silence here. Forget about tomorrow. Let go of the journey to come. And sink into this evening's warmth. Every great adventure is fueled by rest. Your tiredness is noble, friend, and contains healing power if you would only listen. So you have about 6 more minutes in this pose to allow yourself to gather the energy, restore the energy, and I'm just going to allow that time in silence. And of course, if silence is too much for you, you can always repeat a mantra to yourself or hum to yourself, because this audio only goes one way, right? So make sure that you're attending to your own comfort while you're gathering the energy here in Legs Up the Wall. Okay, so we're going to slowly make our way out of legs up the wall. And our next pose is going to be child's pose, another great pose to restore energy. So if child's pose is too much weight bearing through your knees in that orientation where you're facing the ground, then you can always stay here with your legs at the wall and open your knees wide and have your soles of your feet against the wall and take your arms overhead, because this would be child pose on your back here. So that's a nice option if ankles and knees are an issue in child's pose, especially because we're going to be staying in the pose for 10 minutes. If you would prefer to take the traditional version of child's pose, facing towards the ground with a bolster, then you can do that as well. So I would encourage you to move slowly between the poses. You were in the pose for a long time. So there's no rush here. So knees can be wide and you can fold forward into child's pose, and you might want to pull that blanket over top of you again. So winter solstice is a time to mirror the stillness and quietude of the dormant earth. All of nature is resting and hibernating and inviting us to do the same. This is the time for us to be patient and wait for the slow build towards the brighter days of spring that will come later. But now is the time to rest and conserve our energy. When we turn inwards, we can connect with our inner silence and our inner wisdom and listen for the blessings and guidance that are available through deep rest. So in this pose, you can focus on breathing into your low back, into your kidneys and your adrenals, and you can even imagine that area of your low back each time you breathe in, feeling like a battery charging. You can also imagine tension releasing down into the prop of the bolster and the ground, or if you're on your back, you can imagine it releasing down through your back. You can feel the parts of your body that are being supported by the earth. You can sink into the silence. Or you can sink into a mantra like, I am resting and conserving my energy. I am resting and conserving my energy. Okay, so very slowly you're going to make your way out of this pose. And we're going to come into, I think this is probably my favorite restorative pose, and I find it so good to conserve and restore and build energy in the body. See if you guys can guess which it is. It's the restorative locust pose. It's the one where you set up your bolster so that it's on an incline, and you need 2 blocks underneath your shoulders, and then I like to place an eye pillow underneath my forehead or a folded blanket, just so that you can have your forehead face down. So we're going to be in this pose for 10 minutes. And if this pose is a pose that you don't like, then you could take supported fish pose with the blocks like this, your head on the block and your back on the block. That could be an alternative to this pose. So the way this pose goes is you get your knees right up against the bolster so that your shins are on the bolster. The blocks come right underneath your shoulders. And then you rest your forehead on the eye pillow or a little folded blanket. And you breathe into your low back. So you're going to be in this pose for 10 minutes. So it's only possible to make the descent into darkness when you commit to stillness and quiet. Only you will know what that looks like for you personally. Perhaps it is time in meditation, yoga, quiet contemplation, long walks on the barren paths of the forest, breaks from social media, letting go of social engagements, embracing naps and downtime. However, it's only through deep, authentic rest that authentic healing and rejuvenation can be accessed. So I'm going to say that again. It's only possible to make the descent into darkness when you commit to stillness and quiet. Only you will know what that looks like for you. Perhaps it's time in meditation, yoga, quiet contemplation, reading poetry, long walks on the barren paths of the forest, breaks from social media, letting go of social engagements, embracing naps and downtime. However, it's only through deep rest that authentic healing and rejuvenation can be accessed. So in this pose, in the restorative locust pose, you can just let the tiredness, the fatigue sink down into the ground, and let tension sink down into the ground. Let yourself be buoyed, especially by the blocks under your shoulders. You can let your anchor point or your focus be breathing into your low back. And again, I love that visualization of the kidneys and the adrenals being charged like a battery. So each time I breathe into them, I'm imagining that the battery light going up there. So you're building that energy in the adrenals and the kidneys. You can also focus on just really feeling the support of the earth under the bolster and the shoulders, letting your shoulders be held by the blocks. This is really nice because the shoulders, we tend to just carry the weight of the world on our shoulders here in life. And here you can let the shoulders just lift you. The blocks lift your shoulders. And you could... if the silence, which you're going to be in for about another 7 minutes, is too much, you could be repeating a mantra to yourself or humming. So you could say, I commit to stillness and quiet. I commit to stillness and quiet. Okay, very slowly you're going to make your way out of this restorative locust pose. And we're going to come back to legs up the wall pose. So you can do legs up the wall, or if you don't want to go back to legs up the wall, you can do constructive rest with your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor. You could do shavasana with a bolster underneath your knees, or you could do legs up a chair or your couch or your easy chair, whatever you have in your living room. So you're going to be in legs up the wall for another 10 minutes. We're holding these restorative yoga poses for a long time to build the energy, to restore the energy, to conserve that energy. So in legs up the wall, you can focus again on that breath, breathing into your kidneys, your low back, your adrenals, focusing on imagining recharging your batteries as you breathe into that area, imagining the batteries recharging. You can focus on the support of the wall and the ground underneath you. You could also focus on just sinking into the silence and the time to, taking this precious time to rest out of doing. So much of our lives are about doing and becoming and achieving. And so just sinking into this being a real gift of being and resting. Or you can just focus on letting this be a time in quiet. I'm going to read that Jeff Foster quote for you again. So this is Sacred Exhaustion by Jeff Foster. Your tiredness has a dignity to it. Do not rush to pathologize it or push it away, for it may contain great intelligence, even medicine. You have been on a great journey from the stars, friend. Bow before your tiredness now. Do not fight it any longer. There is no shame in admitting you cannot go on. Even the courageous need to rest. For a great journey lies ahead, and you will need all your resources. Come, sit by the fire of presence. Let your body unwind. Drop into the silence here. Forget about tomorrow. Let go of the journey to come. And sink into this evening's warmth. Every great adventure is fueled by rest. Your tiredness is noble, friend, and contains healing power if you would only listen. Your tiredness has dignity to it. Do not rush to pathologize it or push it away, for it may contain great intelligence and even medicine. You have been on a great journey from the stars, friend. Bow before your tiredness now. Do not fight it any longer. There is no shame in admitting that you cannot go on. Even the courageous need to rest. For a great journey lies ahead, and you will need all your resources. Come sit by the fire of presence. Let your body unwind. Drop into silence here. Forget about tomorrow. Let go of the journey to come and sink into this evening's warmth. Every great adventure is fueled by rest. Your tiredness is noble, friend, and contains healing power if you would only listen. So if you have your legs up the wall, you're going to slowly draw your knees down, knowing that you've been there for a long time. Gradually bend your knees and roll to your side. We're going to come together in a seated position, either sitting on a meditation cushion or in a chair or kneeling on a block. And we'll just take a moment to reflect back on our experience. Reflecting on this experience of taking time and stillness and quiet to conserve our energy, to take time and deep rest. And just notice what stands out to you. What seems most important as it relates to your life right now. What's one thing you're going to take away with you into the darkness of winter solstice as you step off your mat and into the stillness and darkness of this precious time of year? This quiet, still time of year. And if that can be distilled down to one word that you can carry with you, or maybe a thought or an image or a feeling, let's take that and gather it in. Left palm up, right palm down. And then we'll offer that also out into the world. So we'll first gather it into ourselves and offer it out into the world. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. So if you feel so inspired to share that one word or thought or feeling or inspiration that arose from this class for you, you can put it in the comments. And if nothing arose, that's fine too. You can put, I am resting, I am finding stillness and rest right now, or I'm finding stillness and rest right now in the comments. And give yourself a thumbs up. I really want to acknowledge you for taking this restorative yoga class for winter solstice to surrender to mystery and darkness, to support you for exploring your inner world in the depth of this long night where there's space for your intuition, your inner wisdom, and your creative potential to be born again. To take time to rest in the frozen silence and stark stillness without rushing on to the next big thing. It's just so important to take this time to go inside before turning out into the world again. And so I acknowledge you for making space in your lives at a time when there are so many things that you could be doing. So I really want to acknowledge that. I'm going to stay and connect with the people that are on the live stream, but if you're listening to this on the recording, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like my mudras PDF, just go to melissawest.com/mudras. Om Shanti. Namaste.
And we are out. All done. So the words are coming in right now.
Okay, so you have my glasses and
Yes, I give you glasses.
something to read comments on? The silence is a little weird when we're supposed to be connecting.
Oh, sorry.
Tim goes into these long pauses, and you're going. Well, I know you're doing something, but it's like silence on video is a little weird sometimes, unless it's been. I guess it's better than on radio, but okay. Glasses are on. I can read this tiny screen. Okay. The title of the poem, it's from Jeff Foster's book called Deep Rest, and it was a excerpt. It was a whole chapter called Sacred Exhaustion. So you can look that up. Jeff Foster's book called Deep Rest, and it's the chapter called Sacred Exhaustion. It's in one of my yoga nidras too. Maybe somebody in the comments will know that it's at the beginning of one of the yoga nidras that I teach as well. So if anybody knows which yoga nidra it's at the beginning of, you're a star. You can write that down. Okay, Tina says her word was glow. That's a great word. I like that. We have the glow of the inner light. Sandra's word was energy. Thank you, Sandra. Sandra is a beautiful member. She may be able to say a few things about her experience in the 5 element courses as well. She's in Denmark. She's building a tiny home, which is very exciting. Wow. Yeah, she lives year-round in a camper right now. Nancy's word is surrender. Is that 2 surrenders? No, just 1 so far. Becky's word is, Becky says, I will be honoring the gift winter gives with the restful darkness. That is beautiful. We could take all these words and make them into poetry. I feel like I should screenshot them. Jane, welcome Jane. Jane says her word is deep stillness. Eva says her word is believe. Tanya saying hi to Becky and Indra. Nice. I love that. Linda said she loved the poem. And Tanya said this class was so relaxed. Beautiful poem. I think maybe other people fell asleep.
Today was a special night. Everybody came. We had the most we've ever had.
Really? Tanya said her word is soft. Yeah, today we had the most people we've ever had on a live stream, which is amazing because it's this time of year where you probably have many invitations to many social gatherings. So I feel very honored that you spent this time with me, particularly all the people who joined me from Europe where, it's that time of day in the evenings when you can be going out to fun Christmas parties and things like that. So thank you. On a Friday night too. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining me for a winter solstice celebration inside. You know how I know you're fellow introverts? Because you stayed at home and you did a winter solstice class with me. Deborah said, how fabulous this invitation in exhaustion. I didn't think I would be able to do your course tonight. Well, Deborah, I'm glad that you joined us. I love how all of you are talking to each other and saying hello to each other. Deborah's word was respect. Randy says, I've been urged to think upon waking every day or in the middle of the day. The word thank you came to mind.
Can you say thank you for recent donations?
Yes, I will. Linda said, thank you so much. As a caregiver, I am so depleted, much needed. Linda, I am so impressed that as a caregiver that you were able to make space and time in your schedule for this. So definitely so needed as caregivers. Donna said she did this class in bed. Great idea to do yoga in bed. She's fighting off a cold, so it's a perfect class. Definitely great idea to do yoga in bed when you have a cold. There's another restorative yoga class for when you have a cold, although if you don't already have a cold, it's not great. But for those of you that have a cold, If you have a head cold in particular, this class had kind of a lot of inversions in it, so it can be a lot of pressure on your head. That restorative yoga class for when you have a cold keeps your head above your heart, so there's not so much pressure, and then not all that mucus draining down into your head. So if that's useful at any point. Tim reminded me, and I want to thank you all also so much. We've received several donations starting around American Thanksgiving, and very generous large donations. So we just want to thank you all so much. It made it possible for us to purchase the van that we're going to be converting to a trailer this year, and to be able to make those conversions. And we want you to know that those donations make a big difference. Not just those ones, but those of you that donate, many of you donate monthly as well. They make a big difference to our lives. They, like, as I said, it made it possible for us to do something that, like, I don't know if you guys understand how much I love camping. Like, I love camping. To me, it gets me off the grid. It gets me away from computers, gets me away from screen time, gets me immersed in nature. I sleep so well. It's just, I go and I swim in the lakes. It's just like my favorite thing to do. So you guys thank you so much. And it makes a big difference. It supports us so much. We, as yogis, we don't get free rent, we don't get free groceries, and, it really supports us, and we appreciate that so much. Sandra's talking about the 5-element courses, so thank you so much for speaking about that there. I appreciate that. And the elements are about connecting with the seasons as well. Nikki said, I'm blurry. Anybody else finding that? No. Yeah, it could have to do with internet speed. Nice to see you, Nikki. I have the card that you sent me on my desk, and I have been meaning to write you to thank you for sending me that card. I was really special, really thoughtful of you to do that. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for that. And I've seen you set up your new room and space on Instagram, and it's nice to see you thriving so much. So thank you for that. And I'm glad I got to thank you here. So thank you for that beautiful card you sent me. Sandra's saying it's fine. And Becky's saying that since doing the 5-element courses, her connection to nature is so much stronger, and she's receiving a lot of healing from nature. So that's really beautiful. I'm so happy to hear that. I've really noticed that from my students who have done the 5-element courses, that their connection to nature, like their commitment to connect to it in a daily way. Like I think about Allison Cooper, for example. She is just committed to being in nature every day now, or if not every day, she makes some pretty big commitments to being in nature now. And the amount of healing and grounding and a release of physical and emotional tension that gives her, it's really beautiful to see. And this is not to say that I don't already see that the people that are attracted to my classes have a huge connection to nature. It's just to see the way that it's just that the course gives it a container in our lives, It's easy for us to get distracted, and to join with other people that have the same interests. It's like, oh, my people. That's the amazing part about it, I think. Okay, so we want to thank you so much for joining us for the celebration of solstice. Thank you for joining us in rest and for conserving your energy. And if you want to know more about the 5-element courses, we're going to be sending out an email about that. So if you're not already on our email list, you can go to snazzy new website, melissawest.com. There's a spot to put your email address in there. You can put it in there. And have a wonderful holidays. Tim and I are taking 2 weeks off now, so there will be no new classes for the next 2 weeks. New classes in January, and we will be filming in California. So again,
I'm thinking I'll upload vlogs to the other channel just because we have 2 back behind.
Tim's going to be uploading vlogs.
Yeah, on Wednesday of next week.
Okay, well, we'll talk about that because we might need them in January while we're getting the new videos ready.
Tim will not be.
Tim is going to be taking a break too.
I'm allowed to
Yeah.
take a break.
Yes, you're going to take a break.
I said Merry Christmas in the chat.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And we are going to take a break now, a well-deserved break. And we're sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our ocean. May you be as strong as our mountains and as rooted as the old growth trees in our forest. Om Shanti Namaste. We have to do photos.
You're still alive.
That's okay.